Hello friends, we are continuing our discussion of gaseous states of matter, and we are left with some laws. See, to cover everything, it may not be possible because it is crash time. All right, so whatever we can do, we are doing. So now we have Gay-Lussac's law. Gay-Lussac's law. Again, for a given amount of gas, for a given amount of gas at a constant volume, pressure is directly proportional to temperature. All right, so you should be careful, like in Boyle's law we have kept temperature constant. In Charles law we kept the what we kept constant in Charles law. In Boyle's law we kept volume and temperature relation, so pressure was kept constant, and here what we are keeping constant, here we are keeping in Gay-Lussac's law, we are keeping this volume factor constant. Gay-Lussac's law, we are keeping volume factor as constant. All right, so it says pressure is directly proportional to temperature. Pressure is directly proportional to temperature, or you can say pressure is equal to K into T. All right, or P1 upon T1. You can also say that P1 upon T1, that is equal to P2 upon T2. Is this okay? So obviously you can draw one simple graph, that is pressure versus T in Kelvin. You get this kind of graph that is very simple. And if you have a graph with against pressure and temperature in Kelvin, suppose you have three graphs like this, and it represents V1, V2 and V3. Again you have to find out whether V1 is greater than V2, greater than V3, or vice versa, V1 is less than V2, less than V3, or all are equal. So again what you can do, you can draw a line like this. So see, this is P1, this is P2 and this is P3, and now P1 is greater than P2 is greater than P3, and since pressure is inversely proportional to volume, you can say reverse order is correct. That is V1 then V2 then V3. V3 is largest and V1 is smallest. The statement you can make. This is Gay-Lussac's law. And then we have Avogadro law, that is equal volume of all gases contain equal number of moles. Means Avogadro law, it says volume is directly proportional to number of moles. All right, volume is directly proportional to number of moles, or V is equal to K into N, or you can say V1 upon N1 equal to V2 upon N2, like that. From all these laws, that is Boyle's law says pressure is inversely proportional to volume, and volume is directly proportional to temperature, and pressure is directly proportional to temperature, and volume is directly proportional to N. We can make out gas law, that is PV equals to nRT. This is ideal gas equation. Means when we say ideal gas equation, actually there are some assumptions. There are certain assumptions. When we say ideal gas, then we assume that their individual volume is negligible, and volume of a gas is basically it is equal to volume of the container. All right, they are point masses. All right, and they one is their individual volume, means their volume is negligible as compared to the volume of the container. So this thing we have neglected. And second thing we have neglected is the force of attraction between gaseous molecules. We considered while proving this relation that there is no force of attraction between gaseous molecules, whereas we know that between gaseous molecules we have force of attractions, otherwise how a gas can be liquefied, anyway. This R is gas constant, and this is very important. R is equal to, if you say, PV upon N into T. So if you want to write the unit and its value, PV is liter atmosphere, that is basically work, PV work, liter atmosphere, and per mole per Kelvin, all right. And in this unit the value is, if you put the values, you will get 0.0821, or my suggestion is you use 1 by 12 in calculations. All right, this is nearly equal to 0.082. Similarly, if it is in joules, all right, joules per Kelvin per mole, then its value is, the value of R is around 8.314. Again, my suggestion is use 100 by 12. All right, you can use 100 by 12. And in calories, if it is in calories per Kelvin per mole, then this value is around 1.98. So 2 calories per Kelvin per mole. All right, so these values, you remember these values. 1 by 12 in atmosphere, in joules it is 8.314, the value of R, or in calories it is 2. All right. Then comes the real gas. In real gas equation, or van der Waals correction, actually if you consider a gas to be real, means basically whichever gas we consider, they do not behave ideally, and they are all real. So in real gases we have certain volume, means their molecular volume, that is not considered negligible, first thing. And we consider that there is a certain force of attraction between gaseous molecules. So these things are kept in mind. And if you draw a graph between P and V for say ideal gas and for real gas, see, you will get, this is for real gas and this is for ideal gas. All right, so what you find, say, with the at a high pressure, the volume of real gas is more than the volume of ideal gas. That means this is called positive deviation. All right, this is positive deviation. And at this low pressure, you will find that the volume of real gas is less than volume of ideal gas, and this is called negative deviation. All right. From here we can conclude something, actually, from PV equal to nRT. PV upon nRT. This is called Z. This is called compressibility factor. What is this called? This is called compressibility factor. This is called compressibility factor. Alright. So when a gas can behave ideally when Z is equal to 1, means when PV equal to nRT, then we can say Z is equal to 1 and gas will behave ideally. So it happens when the pressure is low, volume is very large. Volume is very large, pressure is very low. If pressure is very low, volume is very large, and temperature is also very large, then a gas behave ideally. Whereas for a real gas, pressure is high and volume is less and temperature is less. In such cases, it behaves as real gas. Alright. So, what is the correction factor? Says this is P ideal, V ideal, that is equal to nRT. And now there is a correction factor in pressure, that is P plus delta P, P plus delta P, and this is P real, if it is P real plus delta P, and V real minus delta V. This is called correction in pressure part. Delta P is correction in pressure part and delta V is called correction in volume part. Alright. And this means we do not have much of time to explain all these. This delta P is basically, this is A n square upon V square. Alright. This A is van der Waals constant. A is van der Waals constant, and A depends on intermolecular attraction. A depends on intermolecular attraction. Greater the intermolecular attraction, greater is the value of A. Greater is the intermolecular attraction, greater is the value of A. So if we are given some of the gases, like if we are given hydrogen and ammonia, we can simply say the force of attraction between ammonia molecule is large, so the value of A is more, and greater the value of A, greater is the deviation in pressure factor. Alright. So A tells about the intermolecular attraction, and as far as unit of A is concerned, this is pressure, so it is atmosphere into liter square. Alright, atmosphere liter square upon mole the square, mole square per means this is atmosphere liter square per mole square. Atmosphere liter square per mole square, this is the unit of A. So Z is also given by V real divided by V ideal. Alright. So if Z factor is greater than 1, if Z is equal to 1, it is ideal. If Z is greater than 1, it indicates that V real is more. V real is more than the V ideal. That is why the value of Z is greater than 1. Or you can say PV is greater than nRT. Or you can also say V real is greater than V ideal. That means V real is more means the force of repulsion, repulsive forces is more. Alright. Repulsive forces is more. Repulsive forces more if Z is greater than 1. And if Z is less than 1, that means PV is less than nRT, PV is less than nRT, or V real is less than V ideal. And in such cases, if V real is less, means volume is less, that means attractive forces are dominating. Here repulsive forces are dominating. Alright. So if you draw a graph, right? If you draw a graph between Z and pressure, all right, for ideal gases, Z is equal to 1. For ideal gases, Z is equal to 1. And see, for helium and for helium and hydrogen, it is always, this is positive deviation. This is positive deviation, and here it is negative deviation. Z is greater than 1. So when Z is greater than 1, when V real is more. So this is V real is more means repulsive forces are dominating. So between hydrogen and helium atoms, the force of attraction is very, very negligible. That is London forces. That is why they always show positive deviation. Whereas for say if it is for CH4, you get this kind of graph, CH4, or for CO2, we get this kind of graph. So greater the force of attraction, and greater the size of molecule, you will find greater is the deviation. So at a low pressure, initially the negative deviation is there, and with the increase in pressure, they start showing positive deviation. All right. So at least you can remember these points, and you may find some questions like if you have like say suppose we are given some gases A, B, C and D, and Z values are given, that is 1.4, 0.9, 1.8 and 0.6. These values are given. The question is increasing order of deviation from ideal behavior. Increasing order of deviation from ideal behavior. We want to write the order, and we want to tell the positive deviation cases. So positive deviation when the Z is greater than 1. In A and C we will find positive deviation, and in case of B and D you can say it is negative deviation. And minimum deviation from 1, because if Z is equal to 1 means ideal behavior. Minimum deviation you will find in case of B, and then you will find it is nearly equal to 1. So it is A, and then it is D, and then it is C. Means nearest to 1 is ideal behavior. If it is more than 1 or less than 1, it deviates from the ideal behavior. All right. So these things you can predict. Okay, there are so many things, so at least you can do these things. Thank you.